Hi everyone. Welcome. It's Sunday again. And if it's Sunday, it is easy swimming pool answers. I'm so glad to be here today. Wherever you are, let me wish you a pleasant good evening. I trust you are doing fine. Trust you are doing well. Once it's Sunday, it's a day whereby we get to talk about pools. This is the only program dedicated on a Sunday to talking about everything about swimming pools. And wherever you are today in St. Lucia, around the world, wish you a pleasant day. Um, you know, I know today, all my Man U fans, we had a hard day, but you know what? You can still relax in your pool this evening, despite that day. So, you know what? It's time to put away your cares, put away your worries, and let's talk everything swimming pools. So I'm Kenton Augustine, and I'm your host for the next few minutes as we speak about everything swimming pool. So it's time, folks. It's time to share the link, time to invite a friend, time to let folks know that we are on and we are here to discuss about pools. Although we have a topic, let me say you can feel free to ask any questions as you go along. That's why we are here. We are here to share, to learn, and to grow together on this channel. All right. So, so today we have an interesting topic lined up. One that I always get asked about. I have built my pool. What's next? How do I start? And so today we want to just briefly look at some pointers, some tips one can do to start once they have built their pool, their pool is filled with water. What is the next step? So today, stay tuned, find out as we get ready to look at startups, all right? All right, and we are back. It's time for our pool news segment. All right. By the way, did you guys catch that intro tune? Let me know what you think about it. It's a new tune that we put together. I kind of like it very much. Hope you like it too. All right. So in our pool news today, child dies from brain-eating amoeba in splash pads. All right. So, and the main takeaway we'll see in a reason why that happened. It says officials confirmed on Monday that a child in Texas died earlier this month after contracting a rare and often fatal brain-eating amoeba at a public splash park located in Arlington. According to joint news statements from Tarrant County Public Health and City of Arlington, the boy was hospitalized on September the 5th with primary amoebic meningitis, an uncommon and often fatal condition caused by an amoeba called Niagara fowler. The child passed away, unfortunately, on September 11th, according to the news release. More information about the youngster was published in order to preserve the child's identity. Now, what really is this amoeba that caused the child to die? According to the CDC, the fowler is typically found in soil and fresh warm water such as lakes, rivers, and hot springs. It can also be found in unchlorinated or poorly maintained pools. You get that? According to the CDC, The organism infects people when the water carrying the amoeba enters the body through the nose. According to the CDC, the irregular fowler amoeba then travels up to the nose to the brain where it damages brain tissue. So folks, you see the importance of properly ensuring that pools are chlorinated. If not, you may not be killing pathogens and viruses in the water. So today, let us ensure that our pools are properly chlorinated to prevent any illness or any sickness. Time now for our health tip. And we are back. Remember to subscribe to our channel. What we'll do, we'll place the link in the chat so you can indeed subscribe, that you don't miss any other of our programs when we're on. We want you to ensure that you all can benefit and take part in our discussions. So today, what we have for our health tip today. Let me just try and get this thing sorted out here. All right. So for our health tip, question is, does swimming make you smarter? Does swimming make you smarter? What does the experts say? All right. And this is this is by Marinia Trusty. And she wrote an article, Does Swimming Make You Smarter? Now let's hear it. It says, studies show that swimming is an excellent way to boost your intelligence and grow new brain cells. A new article written by the neurobiologist and avid recreational swimmer Sina Matthew investigates new intriguing research suggesting that swimming in the pool may actually make you smarter. It's been long known that a regular exercise regimen has specific cognitive benefits. A study released in 2019 showed that swimming may actually trump all other forms of exercise in terms of building new brain cells growth. Wow. Matthew's article goes in depth into the brain benefit you get when doing any type of aerobic exercise, which is great for individuals interested in neuroscience or looking for some motivation to get to the gym. All right? But swimming, research suggests, might be most beneficial for boosting memory. Wow. And also to take away stress as well, and improving cognitive ability. Swimming may also help repair damage from dementia and forge new neural connections, in the brain. Most of the evidence for this conclusion comes from research conducted with rats. After just 7 days of swim training, researchers saw improvements in both short and long-term memory, based on a reduction in the errors rats made each day, said Matthews. Next heading says, swimming helps boost memory. Do the same improvements in memory hold true for human beings as was seen in the rats? Matthews says they do. Research in people is producing similar results that suggest a clear cognitive benefit from swimming across all ages, says Matthews. BDNF was one of the most significant recent discoveries in the link between exercise and brain function. BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotic factor, is a protein produced in the brain that aids in cell repair and formation of new ones. Swimming appears to offer the brain an extra boost according to one study that compares swimming with other forms of exercise, another study looked at how well children could remember vocabulary after swimming, coloring, or participating in a CrossFit-like activity. These findings imply that swimming for even short periods of time is highly beneficial to young developing brains, said Matthews. A 4-year study on early swimmers was completed at Griffith University in Australia. Parents of 7,000 children under the age of 5 were polled. A total of 180 youngsters aged 3 to 5 years were all assessed as part of the study. Now here it is. The cognitive benefits associated with swimming are shared by youngsters and older swimmers alike. Studies show that with regular swimming, the hippocampus will increase, allowing more oxygen to flow into the brain. This in turn helps boost memory capacity. So folks, swimming can actually make you smarter. Research is now suggesting. So those of you who have a swimming pool, please swim more often. And if you have young ones, let them swim. It is good for the body, healthy for the brains, all right? And those of you who are thinking about getting a pool, by all means, go right ahead. We are right here to make that more beneficial and make it more easier to obtain. So once again, let me wish you a pleasant good evening wherever you are. And if you're here in the chat, you can just share the link, drop a line, ask a question, let me know you're there as we get ready to move into the other phase of our program today. One of the questions normally I get asked about is after someone has completed their swimming pool. So they came, they got all the equipments, they did all the hard work to put it together. They went through the process of choosing the colors, choosing the tiles, choosing their systems, if it's salt, if it's UV, if it's ozone, if it's chlorine. You took time to do all those things to ensure that you have an efficient and optimum functioning swimming pool. But of course, every new homeowner wants to know, or even if you are doing a renovation, maybe you just did over your pool renovation, and it's time to refill the pool. How do I start? Where do I start? What is the next step? And so today, we want to examine what are some steps one can take when they are starting up a brand new pool. And more specifically, we are looking at plaster pools. Plaster pools, by that I mean pools where you had Diamond Bright, you had River Rock, Pebble Tech, you had some form of cementous finish as your final product on your pool. That nice blue, that nice light blue or dark blue, or that aquamarine color you choose. We want to know, what do we do next after the pool is plastered and we're getting ready to fill the pool up? Some principles may apply also to fiberglass or tile pool, but for today, we are looking particularly at plastered pools. And most times, after you have done the Diamond Bright, what do I do next after I've applied my Diamond Bright? Well, so you have Diamond Bright, you expose your finish. Now the truck comes and the pool is being filled up. All right. One of the products, and it's probably the only product, if you come to me, I will recommend that you can use first. It is probably the only chemical, I would say it is the first thing to put in your pool, and that is called Fast Start. And I'm going to go now to that. All right. So Fast Start Tech. It says it's a stain-free, scale-free, problem-free startups. All right. It says protect your beautiful new pool finish from plaster dust. And yes, the pool takes some time to cure. Even though it may seem dry, but it takes time to cure. And there are still going to be remnants of the finish coming off and going into your system. It says protect your beautiful new pool finish from plaster dust, stains, and mottling. Fast Start Tech Advanced Sequestration helps prevent stains from metal and calcium stain and controls plaster dust while yielding no phosphates in the pool water. So, we want to talk today, this first segment, about the first chemical I recommend you put in your pool after it is done, after you have diamond brighted, your river rock, whatever you use. This is the first chemical you throw in. Even while the pool is being filled, you can throw it in. Now it says 1 quart does 15,000 gallons of water. All right, so 1 quart does a whole lot of body of water. All right, will help produce a smoother, cleaner finish on white plaster, colored plaster, quartz, exposed aggregate, and pebble finishes. And most times in St. Lucia, we tend to use a aggregated finish, exposed aggregate finish, or a quartz finish. And so Fast Start Tech is really the product you ought to be using when you're filling the pool up. And we're going to go to a video that explains the product, and then we'll be right back as to more tips we can use when we are beginning our brand new pool, when the pool has been filled with water for the very first time. We'll be right back.
Are you building a new pool and want to ensure it's finished right? Are you experiencing metal stains, plaster dust, calcium scale, or mottling on your new pool surfaces? These problems can cause new pool warranty issues and require replastering of damaged pools. On new and existing pools, scale can build up on salt chlorine generators, reducing the life of the generator. Don't let these situations slow down your pool startups or your pool servicing. Fast Start Tech Advanced Polymers help prevent metal stains and calcium scale and control plaster dust while yielding no phosphates in pool water. Phosphates fuel algae growth, so we always want to avoid adding them. Fast Start Tech does so much. Controls plaster dust. Advanced sequestrant helps prevent metal stains, calcium scale and mottling, yields no phosphates. Extends the life of the salt chlorine generator. Improves enzyme performance. Great for all pool surfaces. It contains no NTA and no carcinogens. Reduces warranty issues and replastering of damaged pools. Quicker, easier startups. Here's how to use Fast Start Tech. Disperse directly into the pool. Using 1 quart per 15,000 gallons of pool water will help produce a smoother, cleaner finish on white plaster, colored plaster, quartz, exposed aggregate, and pebble finishes. Add to at least 12 inches of water and complete fill. Avoid spilling it directly onto pool surfaces. Continue to add Fast Start Tech weekly to the pool to prevent metal stains and calcium scale throughout the life of the pool. You can also use it weekly to boost enzyme performance. Fast Start Tech produces a user-ready pool faster and allows quicker, easier startups. Contact your local low-chlor dealer to get faster, easier pool startups today.
Okay, so we are back once more, folks. So there you go, a rundown on Fast Start Tech, and it does work. We have used it in new pools that we start up, and we get a very much faster turnaround time in terms of getting that pool cleared up, controlling the dust, and really having a problem-free startup. So I recommend that product highly for those of you who are beginning to fill up your pool for the very first time. What else? So we have plastered the pool. The water truck has come. or you're using your hose, but that might take a long time. So here's a water truck, and you throw in your fast stack tech to help control the plaster dust, control metals in the water, and again, because sometimes you're not always sure of the water source. You're not sure. Sometimes maybe the tanker is a metal tanker. All right, and of course, if it's a metal tanker, therefore there could be metals in that particular truck of water. So therefore, you want to ensure that from the very first go, you are assisting your pool by having the fast stack tech in there, because once that truck comes, any metals in the water from the truck, from the tank, that is going to absorb that metal. All right, it's a sequester, gets it together, help it to get filtered out, and also it's going to control your plaster dust. So you definitely want to get this product for a new startup. What else? So you finish your Diamond Bright, out of your fast stack tech. Now, once you have a plastered pool, Diamond Bright, River Rock, Pebble Tech, whatever brand you may have used, you need to run those pumps for 24 hours for at least 3 days straight. All right, you want to keep those pumps going continuously for about 3 days. You want to ensure that plaster is getting the chance to cure. All right, so during those 3 days, the only chemical you are allowed to put in the pool is the fast stack tech. Don't put chlorine, don't throw in chlorine blocks, don't throw in chlorine powder. No, just allow the pool to run 24/7 over 3 days, minimum 3 days. Let it run, let it cure. Also, during that 3 days, be very careful. Do not go and because you are so enthusiastic to jump in there to get a roller and a vacuum head and you won't vacuum. No, chances are you may very well leave tracks on the surface. So you may actually damage the pool surface if you vacuum too quickly. All right. So remember, you fill the pool up. You train your fast stack tech according to your gallons. You run the pumps for 3 days, minimum 3 days. You allow the Diamond Bright to cure. During those 3 days, please don't throw in any chemical, don't throw in any chlorine in there, stuff like that. Don't go on with a roller and just rolling to vacuum. No, you can actually cause stains. It's not stains. You can actually leave a track from the wheels on the finish, and you ruin that brand new finish you just paid all that money for. All right, and also avoid jumping in there because you may jump in there, you walk in there, and guess what? You leave footprints in there. All right, so it's very important you follow these steps for the first 3 days. What happens after the 3 days? Well, then you can begin to either you call in your pool specialist, aka Royalty Pools, all right, or you may have your pool technician, and then now we can now begin to balance that water. All right, we want to get that water balanced. All right, so after 3 days, we then begin the water balancing sequence. All right, and typically we want to ensure that we have calcium in there. All right, and let me just take a pause on calcium. I think is one of the most mistakes pools forget to add calcium. Of course, it depends upon your water source. Some depending on where you're from, you may have a high water calcium base, so therefore it doesn't really apply to you. But if you're somewhere like in St. Lucia, Sometimes what I found, the calcium can be low. And so you want to adjust your calcium, you want to adjust your alkalinity levels, right? You want to, and after you adjust your alkalinity levels, then you can go to the pH, depending on how it is, and of course your chlorine as well. And if you have a salt water pool generator, of course you must add your cyanuric acid, aka your stabilizer. All right, so let me just backtrack and go back to calcium. Sometimes, again, it depends on where you live, your location, your locale, from around the world or in St. Lucia. The water may be low in calcium. And so if you are in an area where there is low calcium in the water, because the pool water always tries to get itself balanced, it will find calcium wherever it is. And guess what? Your diamond bright, your river rock, it is rich in calcium. And therefore, if the calcium is low and you never added any calcium in there, what will happen? Your pool water will look for calcium in your brand new plaster. And therefore, it will extract calcium from the plaster. It will extract calcium from your tiles, from your grout, right? From your grout line in your tiles. And guess what happens? If that goes unchecked over a period of time, then you begin to have problems. All right, you begin to have problems. You begin to have certain stains. You begin to see certain spots. Your diamond bright actually is not compromised over a period of time. It may come out, may lift up, your tiles may pop out because you didn't add calcium. So folks, if you have a brand new pool, remember you need to add calcium if you have a low water calcium source. If you have a salt pool, you need to add some stabilizer. All right? Now, what's stabilizer? Cyanuric acid level. What's that? I normally say it this way. It acts as a sunblock lotion. Most times when we're out in the sun, we apply sunscreen or sun cream, whatever you want to call it, so that the sun doesn't cause damage to our cell tissues. Likewise, CYA, cyanuric acid stabilizer, however you want to call it, it acts as that sunblock between the sunlight and your chlorine. Because if you have a salt water pool, right, and you just start up, you train your salt, you train 10 bag of salt, whatever it be, you throw it in there, but you failed to add the stabilizer. Guess what? You will say, but what happened? My chlorine is still low. My pool is still in green. It's because you forgot to add stabilizer to the pool. So brand new startups, if you have a saltwater pool, you must add stabilizer. If you don't do that, oh man, that's a cardinal sin you're committing there. All right. And of course, the big one, your alkalinity level. Very, very important. It's important to have the right level of your when it comes to your total alkalinity. If not, everything else tend to fail. You don't get that water clarity you desire. The pool doesn't look crisp and clear, nice and clear, because you didn't adjust your alkalinity. And most times, now hear this, before you attempt to adjust your pH, you always check your alkalinity. You got that? Always do that first. If not, you may end up in problem because your alkalinity sometimes it balances out your pH as well. So before you adjust your pH, you check your alkalinity, you throw in the right amount. Of course, we have pH plus, we have the products, we have baking soda, we have the products that you need to balance the pool out. So you got to ensure that you have, and of course, um, you may ask, how do I know how much to add to my pool? And the reality is, if you don't measure it, you can determine. So you must measure. You must know your pool size, folks. All right. So you must know how many gallons of water your pool holds. It is not just, man, let me just throw in something there. You must, from the onset, ask your contractor, ask your builder, sir, miss, what is my pool size? How many gallons of water do I have in my pool? Why? Because that is so important to determine how much chemicals to add. And of course, if you bring your water to the store to get tested, because you can bring your pool water to our store to get a test, we can test for you all your parameters. We will say to you, sir, madam, how many gallons of water do you have? And most times, fortunately, folks don't know the gallons, all right? So you must ensure that you know how many gallons you have in your swimming pool, because that is key for us to determine how much chemical change is needed. So how do you know that? Well, we can do some simple maths. If your pool is, let's say, rectangle, it is 10 by 15. So it is 10 feet wide, it is 15 feet long, and let's say you have two levels. You have a shallow part and you have a deep part. How do you work out how many gallons of water do you have in your pool? Okay, so let's work it out. All right, you can take out a pen and write down the formula. I'm doing only one because we are the whole show on pool measurements, but today we're doing just one, a simple one. So your pool, I have my calculator out. Your pool is 10 feet wide by 15 feet long. So that's 10 by 15. Your shallow end, it is 3 feet. And your deep end, it is 5 feet. So therefore, what we want an average depth of the pool. So that's 3 plus 5 is what? 8? Yes, 8 by 2. So that gives you 4. So therefore, it's a 4 feet average depth you have. So therefore, it is 10 multiplied by 15 multiplied by 4, which is the average feet. Sorry, your average depth times 7.5. 7.5 is the factor you use to determine how many gallons of water you have in a rectangular or a square pool. Okay, so we got 10 by 15 by 4 times 7.5. That gives us 4,500 gallons, right? So therefore, you have now determined how many gallons your pool have. With this information, you are now armed, you are now empowered to begin doing your pool measurements. You are now empowered because now you know how many gallons of water you have in your pool. Now you know how much chemicals to add. So it is extremely important to measure your pool. Know how many gallons you have, all right? Don't just throw stuff in, because let's say you go and throw in a 8-pound bag of stabilizer. Now an 8-pound bag of stabilizer, oh my goodness, that's about 20,000 gallons of water. so right away you have overdosed that pool. Right away, problems. Your you're going to affect your chlorine. Um, you see what I mean? You see what I mean? So you must measure your pool size. For a new startup, you must know your pool size before you apply chemicals in the water. If not, you're going to end up in problems, all right? So remember, if you have any questions, by all means, feel free to put it in the chat. As we go along, we're here to answer your questions that you may have. All right, so now you have filled the pool with water. You have thrown in your fast dark tech, your first chemical, only first chemical, and you have ran your pumps for 3 days straight. You have determined your pool gallons, so you know how many gallons of water you have in your pool. Then you have started applying your chemicals. All right, you begin your chemical. Of course, after the 3 days, you're going to backwash, or you're going to take out the filter, and because guess what, all the plaster and stuff, all the plaster finish is going to be in the filter, in the pumps. So you got to do some cleaning of the filters, clean out the pumps, clean out your sand, backwash, close the filter down. So it's about a week to get through all that stuff before you can begin enjoying swimming in the pool. All right. So those are some steps you can take. There are more stuff, but today, of course, if you want more details, feel free to give us a call. Our numbers are below. Give us a call. We come out to you, or you can bring your water sample, and we can assist you to get your pool started. All right. So trust so far you have learned something new today. Remember, share the link, share the live. Let folks know we are on discussing everything swimming pools. And right now, as our last feature today, we are going to look at for our existing clients. You already have a swimming pool and you have a sand filter. What about your sand filter? How much do you know about your sand filters? Well, guess what? We have a short video just for you about sand filters, and then we are back after this video.
Today we're talking about the care and feeding of our sand filter. We have a top-mounted sand filter here. This one obviously is a cutaway, so you can see inside. Basically, with our sand filter, we're going to be running it in the filter mode. We're going to have a bed of sand filling the tank about halfway, but the proper poundage would be added. And our water is coming in from the pool pump, going into the multi-port valve, entering the filter through the diffuser. The water is going to go through the sand bed, is collected down here at the laterals, and then sent up the standpipe into the multi-port valve to go back to the pool, filtered. Generally, on a sand filter, you'll be running them about a week until they'll need cleaning. To clean a sand filter, we use our pressure gauge as our key. We know that when a sand filter is clean, it will register a certain pressure. When that pressure rises 10 pounds over the clean starting pressure, it's time to backwash. Method of backwashing a sand filter would be to go to the pool pump and turn it off. We're going to push down on the multi-port valve and turn it from filter to backwash. We're going to roll out our backwash hose onto the grass, and then we're going to turn on our pool pump for about 3 to 5 minutes until the water in this sight glass is clean and clear. At that point, we're going to shut the pump off, turn our valve to the rinse position, turn our pump back on for about 10 to 20 seconds to rinse out the pipes, get the sand bed back in order for filter, Water will still be coming out the backwash line. We'll do that for 10 to 20 seconds and then shut it off. And then we're going to turn the valve back to filter, and then we can turn the filter back on and we'll be back into the filter position. Some of the typical problems for a sand filter are what we call short cycling, where the filter will clog up very rapidly and need backwashing very frequently. That generally is an indication that the sand in the filter has reached the end of its life and is becoming impacted with greases, oils, and dirt, and it's not backwashing properly. In that case, you're going to be removing the valve and doing a complete sand change. Our sand options are regular filter sand, which we've been using for years. We also have a couple of other medias that have come onto the market. We have a volcanic media that will serve as a sand replacement, filtering down much better than normal sand. And our third entry onto the market is glass media, where we're taking recycled, screened glass bottles that have been crushed and screened to the exact size it needs to be, and we're using that as a filter media. Some of the other problems that we have with sand filters are that sand is going back to the pool. This is generally because one or many of the laterals at the bottom have become either broken or damaged, and will actually have the sand media flowing back to the pool with the return water. In that case, you would empty the filter of media, inspect the laterals. Most laterals will unscrew and they can be replaced. Sometimes we'll have problems with the entire standpipe breaking and letting sand back into the pool. Our other major problem with sand filters is that sometimes the multi-port valve will fail, and multi-port valves can fail in one of two ways. They are designed to be spring-loaded, and when the spring breaks or becomes unfunctional, there is no spring action left in it, and it's necessary to have the spring action to hold the gasket in the correct place for each filter mode. The other problem we have is that with age, the gasket itself will become bad and need replacing. In that case, we'll generally have water bypassing the filter or water going out the backwash. And in those cases, you generally need to replace the 5 or 6 spoke O-ring that's in the body of the valve.
All right, so we are back once more instead of my... Okay, so that was our lesson today in terms of maintenance. So you saw the filters, how to spot, well, how to clean your filter, and also how to identify issues with the filter. All right. So today you have been empowered to deal with your sand filter. And of course, if you're beginning a brand new startup, you can always go back, rewind, follow the tips, and be on your way to enjoying the benefits of having a pool. Apart from just aesthetics, we saw that swimming can actually increase brain function, and research is showing it can actually increase your cognitive ability and make one smarter, and also help to fight off dementia. So swimming is good. All right. So those of you who have a pool, please swim. Don't just look at it, admire it, but actually swim in it. All right. It's your time to ask any questions you may have. So if there are any questions, now is the moment. Now is your time to ask your questions, and we will seek to answer the best way we can in terms of your swimming pool. And of course, also, if you have any suggestions of topics you want us to look at, by all means, give us a call, go on our website, send us an email, or put it in the chat, and we will be more than happy to look at your topics. Hello, sir. Good day. Good day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Um, it's good to have a master plumber in the house. So I know if I went anywhere off, he is there to add his 2 cents, right? So thank you, Mac. And absolutely. So it's your time to ask the questions, to let me know what areas you wanna tune into. And next week, hopefully next week, we are planning to have a special guest on next week. So this week we are going to confirm his appointment, his booking, and once he has reaffirmed that he will be on, you will definitely know in time so you can prepare your questions. And if he is on, it is a program you don't want to miss. All right, especially if you are a contractor, if you are a pool builder, um, if you're dealing with concrete, you don't want to miss that program because this is the Basecrete guy, and he has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to waterproofing. So I know some of you may have projects to waterproof. I know that for sure that you haven't done as yet. So this is the man to ask the question to get your job done. Once again, if it's Sunday and it's 5 p.m. and there's breath in this body, we are going to be having easy swimming pool answers. It is your forum to learn and to ask all your questions. So until then, folks, if there are no questions, I know that there is a delay between me and Facebook or YouTube. There's a delay in what's coming through. So those of you who are on YouTube, um, please feel free to put in the chat as we ask our questions. Well, if there are none, it means two things. Either you understood everything and I did a good job and you have no questions. So I'll take that one, all right? So until then, folks, remember this coming Sunday, we plan to have a special guest, and you don't want to miss that program. It's going to be exciting, informative, and it's going to be fast paced. So until then, peace. I'm out.